Thank you, Todd. That's one of my favorite songs that we do, and they'll be doing it all month long for us here. So, some of you knew what you were arriving at today. Some of you had no idea. So if you had no idea, I invite you into the idea of divine appointments, that there is an intelligence, a life force in this world, in your life, that knows how to orchestrate everything just perfectly for your wholeness, your healing, your evolution, your peace, your comfort, your connection. So I invite you into that today. You have arrived for the Heart and Soul service. It's the service where we acknowledge those who have lifted off into their freedom form. We acknowledge those who have departed from the side of the veil we are on to the other side. This season is one that highlights emotion. And so often in the human condition, we lack ritual and we lack ways of really coming together to deeply experience life. And we have so many relationships in this thing called life. And in the human condition, sometimes when people lift off, our minds go into thinking that relationship is not still here because it feels so different. So this is our time to really pause for today and bring that relationship into everything. Bring those loved ones that are with us into our now moment. So, I invite you, if you didn't bring a picture of someone today, you might have one on your phone, or I invite you to just hold it in your heart. If you do have a picture of someone today, I want you to just kind of raise that picture. Just hold up that picture, and then lift it to your heart. And as you hold it to your heart, whether it's a real photo or on your phone or in your heart, just breathe into a prayer with your God of your understanding. Breathe into a moment of saying, show me now, show me this season, what this sacred relationship has for me. Show me how my communications can be alive and current. Show me signs and wonders, sweet Spirit, that we are together and that there is forever togetherness. And then I invite you to take that photo, and as you choose, you can kind of just show it to anyone around you if you'd like to. If you'd like to say their names to the people around you, feel free to just share that photo to the person sitting next to you or in front of you or behind you, or to someone on the screen. If you're online, you can post a photo and say who that person is. We're dedicating this service today to Reverend Paul Hasselbeck. He is one of our beloved Unity ministers who wrote the metaphysics books, and he taught student after student that God is within, that the portal to God is within, and that we can release and let go of all dogma. And when we do that, we find the source of our being, the source of life. We find our oneness and our unity. Godspeed, Paul Hasselbeck, the beloved Reverend. So, why do we do something like this? Why do we enter consciously into what for so many can be, moments of pain, suffering, too much? We do it because it's ritual. We do it because healing is layers and layers. It's an ongoing journey. We don't heal from grief once and then it's done. It's an ongoing relationship. And through the portal of grief, we continue that relationship with our beloveds who are in what I call their freedom form. We're in an earth suit and then we're in a freedom form. So we come from somewhere when we arrive onto this planet, and we go to another state of being. That's what we teach in Unity. That's what Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, Unity's co-founders, believed, that life does not begin with birth and end with death, but we shift forms. So it is simply a door that we go through, and that's what the master teacher taught, Jesus the Christ. So no matter what kind of relationship you have or may have had with the beloved that you're honoring today, or the beloveds that you're honoring today, or those that you missed that you're tuning into right now, I invite you to see them in a new state, a different state in a different form, kind of like when you've been apart for a while from someone and you have to meet them again for the first time because they went off to college, or they went to a camp, or they went to some sort of adventure. They traveled the world and they came back and they're a new person. And you recognized and you realized that you need to give them space to have grown, that you need to not hold them in the same framework, in the same thoughts, in the same ways that you used to hold them, because they have evolved, they have shifted. So let us do that with our beloveds that are in their freedom form. Let us know that right now they have the access and the capacity to their fuller selves, the highest aspects of their consciousness. We teach in Unity that we have soul, we have body, we have spirit. And when we lift off into our freedom forms, just like when we engage in an adventure, we can develop different aspects of our awareness. So we see our beloveds in a new awareness, and we ask for a new awareness to be given to each one of us. They are in their freedom form, and we trust that they have an expanded perspective now. Someone shared with me this week from The Rose Speaks this beautiful quote, and I want to share it with you. I want us to be more mindful of telling people to just love themselves. Sometimes a person isn't missing self-love. Sometimes they're missing community love. Sometimes they need the love of their village. Because in all honesty, we were never meant to go through so much alone. Let's breathe into that. We were never meant to go through so much alone. Death and grief and the changing of life into different forms is a unique and specific experience. It's so personal to each one of us. It's like there's a place in our hearts we know no one could ever understand me. No one could ever know this person that I don't have with me here fully physically. No one could ever know or be with me in the thoughts that I'm having about this life and about how to do this. And that's true. No one could ever know. Yet there is a portal of the collective, a portal of the universal, where when we lean into each other and we see the fullness of life in another person, and we see what they have loved and lost, who they have loved and lost, how they have loved and lost, how they have grieved, how they have moved through, how they have listened and heard and communicated, how they have connected and reconnected, how they have found light again after moments of coming to the ground and being heartbroken. Then we enter the universal. And there is healing in the universal. To know that we're all in this together, and that this is natural, that there's nothing wrong, that this is actually life living itself. Then we begin to see each other and see this life and recognize that we're all here walking the hero's journey, that we're all here to create safe, compassionate space for each other, and that this life is sacred. And when we do this, we're carried by a lifeline that goes beyond these moments. We carry God into each moment.
I'll never forget the day my best friend, he went away. Truck rolled off the road, a heavy rain. I was with him hours before, watched him walk on through that door. Heard the news, fell to the ground, went insane. I put a tattoo on my arm, says apart for a while. There's a cross, your hat, and your name. Yeah, it reminds me of you and all the things we used to do. Lets me know I'll see you again. No, I won't be wasting time trying to find the reasons why. Answers somewhere beyond the stars. So we'll play another round, sing some songs with all our friends, and I'll strum with this old guitar. Time will take us all away. Could be years, could be today. Oh, it's something we all will go through. And when I reach the other side is where I'll take my final ride to a place where I can be again with you. I put a tattoo on my arm, says apart for a while. There's a cross, your hat, and your name. Yeah, it reminds me of you and all the things we used to do. Lets me know I'll see you again. It reminds me of you and all the things we used to do. Ryan Cook, I'll see you again.
Thank you, Crazy Karl. Thank you for your sacred songwriting. Thank you for being a man of connection and spirit, feeling your feelings and putting them into life in a song. Thank you for sharing. So I invite you now to take a deep breath as our ushers are going to bring by an ornament that you're going to get to take home to your tree. So you'll each get an ornament and a marker, and as you do, I want you to put on the side with the heart, put the name of a person or the animal that you're blessing today. So right when you get that, go into sacred space and just hold that card and put the name on there. And on the back, there's a little question, and it says, what would they want you to know? So take a few moments just in the sacred silence. Breathe into what you think they would want you to know. And we do that not with our thinking minds, not with our analytical minds. And for those of you in the virtual sanctuary and online, feel free to do all of this sharing in the chat if you'd like, or just on a paper in your home. We let go of the analytical mind and we just listen. What would they want me to know? Think of their voice, think of their phrases. What would they say to you today, right now, that they would want you to know? And that little question is on the other side, so you can turn it over and write that answer on the other side. In a moment, we'll be passing around a candle through this sanctuary. And as the candle goes through the sanctuary, it will come to you. And when it comes to you, I invite you to hold it and speak the name of your loved one, silently blessing them, blessing the candle, which then blesses everyone else's loved one whose name will be spoken by that candle before or after you. And pass it on to the next person. And then our prayer chaplain will be bringing those candles forward. So, as you're writing on your piece, I'm going to say these names. And if you did not have a chance to get your names of those you'd like to bless on our sheets, they'll be on the sides of the sanctuary on the way out. And they're also, for those of us online, they're in your Zoom room, and they're on the comments. Ellen, Jean, Carrie, B, Rick, Danny, Jolene, Mandy, Leona, Edwin, Jeanette, Michelle, Stuart, Canis, Con, Norma, Rana, Angie, John, Caroline, Paul, Ivan, Greg, Ed, Jane, Ken, Priscilla, Callie, Russell, Grace, Ed, Richard, Randall, Norman, Shelley, George, Eileen, Mystery, Cody, Barbara, David, Tom, Joan, Donna, Felix, James, Mike, Pat, Joy, Peter, Howard, Lena, Larry, Mike, Kevin, Vicky, Georgia, Dwayne. We bless you. Namaste.
Have you ever met an angel? Smile was like the sun. His laugh is like a melody that reaches everyone. Have you ever loved an angel swept up by his embrace? Swear there's nothing in this world that could ever take its place. Have you ever really loved an angel? Once you have, you'll never be the same again. Have you ever had to let go of an angel? Say goodbye, let him fly. My angel, my best friend. Have you felt the strength of an angel when you needed it the most? Lifted by those gentle wings, you know you're not alone. Every now and then I feel the peace inside. Wherever life may take me, I'm guided by that light. Have you ever really loved an angel? Once you have, you'll never be the same again. Have you ever had to let go of an angel? Say goodbye, let him fly. My angel, my best friend. 'Cause I have really loved an angel. I know I'll never be the same. 'Cause I had to let go of my angel. Say goodbye, let him fly. My angel, my best friend. And I have really loved an angel. I know I'll never be the same, 'cause I had to let go of my angel. Say goodbye, let him fly, my angel, my best friend.
Thank you, John Fry. And thank you for picking a song that meets your heart where it is, as you bless, I know, your son, and you bless those who are in their freedom form, that are in your heart. Thank you for gifting us with that this morning. As the candle comes to you, I invite you to bless it and pass it around. So we're here in community. We're here to expand our awareness. There's a little book by Ernest Wilson, one of Unity's old school writers. It's one of those cute old school Unity books, and it's called Soul Power. And I just want to share just a couple little snippets for this morning. He says, the study and self-discipline of Unity is not, so far as my own experience goes, a guarantee that we shall never have any more problems. Rather, it helps us increasingly to discover the inner power, soul power, by which we meet problems, an opportunity to learn more about that power. So in Unity, we have the practice of taking everything on and looking at something like death from a different perspective, because to the human condition, to the human heart, it feels like a problem. I mean, it feels like the biggest problem that we could have sometimes. So how can we expand our awareness? How can we see from different angles? He goes on to say, this is a world in which we can find unending opportunities to learn and to grow and to overcome. None of us is exempt from the demands of growth. None of us is exempt from the demands of growth. He says we should be open, receptive, relaxed towards such demands. So how can we embrace being open towards the demands that are upon us in the experience of grief? Well, we can learn, right? We can learn, and we can be teachable, and we can be reachable, and we can allow ourselves to change our minds, or even better, allow ourselves not to make up our minds. Can we give ourselves permission not to make up our minds about life and death, but to just be in the experience of life on all sides of life? There's a poem by Wendell Berry, and it's called The Loved Ones. The loved ones we call the dead depart from us, and for a while are absent, like in the songs that Karl and John sang. And then, as if called back by our love, they come near us again. They enter our dreams. We feel they have been near us when we have not thought of them. They are simply here, simply waiting while we are distracted among our obligations. At last, it comes to us. They now live in the permanent world. They live now in the permanent world. We are the absent ones. So let us bless these beloveds that we have blessed as we have passed these candles. I invite you into a moment of prayer together, that we may, through the sweet spirit of life, sweet spirit, may we remember that we can move from being an absent one straight into presence by being fully present, to the field of emotions, the field of awareness, the field of oneness in each moment. So remind us in wondrous ways that life has no beginning and no end, that life has no opposite. Remind us in wondrous ways that our beloveds are dancing and living in their freedom form. Remind us in such ways that the very fabric of our being remembers, that the very cellular nature of our bodies remember, that from center to circumference we are awakened to this truth, to the maximum capacity that we can see it, intuit it, and feel it in this now moment. Let it grow within us as a birthing. Let it grow within us in our dream time and in our waking time. Let it grow within our eyes and our ears and our hearts and our voice. Let us know that there is unity in consciousness, unity of being. For our beloveds, for the love that comes to us and through this life. For our ability to hold on but with open hands and open hearts. We are grateful, and we pray this in the name and through the nature of the living Christ presence as we enter in a moment of silent meditation together. And so it is. When Jesus was teaching, he spoke to the people and he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. In unity, we know that Jesus demonstrated his Christ potential, his awakened consciousness, his anointing was fulfilled on his earth walk. That he was illumined, he was an illumined being, and that he taught unity consciousness, that he taught not a separation sense, but a sense of oneness. He taught us to step out of being absent and into being mindful through being present in the present moment and with the presence, from moving out of judgment and into love, and that being the state of healing, from moving out of division and into oneness, out of separation and into unity. When he was questioned, as he said, I am the light of the world, and he who follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. When he was questioned, his response was that he can testify on his own behalf, and his testifying is valid. He said, for I know where I came from, and I know where I am going. I know where I came from. I know where I'm going. That is the statement of a master teacher. One that knows the demonstration, knows that life does not begin with birth and life does not end with death, but that we are expressions of source. We are expressions of the Most High. The master teacher taught that the kingdom of God, the realm of divine ideas, the realm of consciousness is within. At a time when the outer authorities and all the structures, it was like, oh, you got to do it like this and you got to do it like that. And this is how we should stone people. And this is how we should do this. And this is how death should be. And this is how life should be. And this is. He said, no, go back to the source. The source is within you, and within you lies the portal to your oneness. So he was questioned, and he said, you do not know me, to any who questioned him, or my Father. So you do not know me, you do not know the expression of God consciousness, nor do you know the source of God consciousness if you question that we are the light of the world. Not a separate sense being that you have to do this in this way or that way to get saved, but that the way and the truth and the life and the light are accessible through the path within, through self-awareness, self-development, self-awakening to the Christ, to the true nature of our being. Jesus replied to them, if you knew me, you would know my Father also. If we knew each other, we would know our source. Crazy Karl and I were talking at the Village Mic this week, and I think you said something about how we talked about how many deaths have happened, how many, and how do you keep breathing through that, keep breathing through that and keep life going. And he said something about, I always underestimate the impact someone had on me, right? Something like that. It's like no matter what the relationship, it's like when the moment of lifting and crossing the veil comes, it's like you feel that impact, right? There's like a lifting of all the illusions. There's even sometimes a lifting of the problems. And if you haven't experienced that open-handed lifting it up, lift them all up. Because there can be deeper experiences, and in those moments where we can be aware of the value, we can see our growth, we can allow ourselves a deeper invitation into the growth, recognizing that right before us in each present moment, there is such impact that we have on each other. And if we could live in that now, we would be doing our part to bring heaven on earth. To bring heaven to earth. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches that birth and death are but two sides of one door. So as we see someone leaving death, their soul is also birthing into their new expression of life. So we may miss them in their form, but we can trust that they are in their ongoing, just like as if they were behind a door. And we know and we can trust that they are where we are going. So can we honor all of the love that we have and every moment of love? Can we honor everyone in their freedom forms by being so present to who and what is in front of us? And doing our forgiveness practice, saying what needs to be said, showing up in ways of love, non-judgment, compassion, leaning into each other, because this is the moment that we have.
My grandson called me 2 days ago and said that he got into it with a coworker, jumped on him. Later, the coworker came up and said, I lost my dad yesterday, I'm sorry. And my grandson called me and said, I just want to let you know, Pops, how much I love you. I thought that was awesome.
Isn't that funny? And I called Robert Brummett after Reverend Paul Hasselbeck died, and partially to let him know, but also to say, because I wanted to give Paul one big, huge hug, just a big, huge hug. I appreciate everything you've done. And I called Robert Brummett, and I said, I just need you to know how much I love, 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 love you.
Hey, Dad, can you hear me? It's been years you've been gone. There's so much that I have to say. I thought I'd put some in this song. Precious time spent together. Yeah, we threw it all away. Hey, Dad, I can only pray we're okay. I've learned not to trust in tomorrows. You get nothing back from yesterdays. Don't wait until tomorrow, 'cause you never know when. Your tomorrow is long gone away. These days, I have no problem yet to say I love you. Your simple hugs, you know they always make my day. When troubles come between us, I'll do all that I can do. Right there and then, to make it all go away. 'Cause I've learned not to trust in tomorrows. You get nothing back from yesterdays. Don't wait until tomorrow, 'cause you'll never know when. Your tomorrow is long gone away. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. It's a brand new day, and I want you to know that we're okay.
Thank you, Karl. So you got a card, and on the back it's blank for your writing. And I invite you to just look at the questions and pick one that feeds you. And just take a moment now in the quiet. Joe's going to play a little piano for us. And pick one answer that you would like to just journal about on the back of this card. What do you wish you had said before they lifted off? Maybe it's what would you like them to remember? What is your loved one's legacy for you? What's the best trait you have because you shared your life with them? What are you more grateful for as time goes by? What image or memory of your beloved is gifted to you in this moment? I'll allow you a little time in the silence to just journal about those questions. And for those of you online, I'm going to read them again. What do you wish you had said before they lifted off? What would your loved one want you to remember? What is your loved one's legacy for you? What is the best trait you have because you shared life with them? What are you more grateful for as time goes by? What image or memory of your beloved is gifted to you in this moment? Take your time if you need a moment to finish journaling. And I close with this excerpt from a poem by Jeff Foster in the book The Way of Rest. He says, all that can be had can be lost. All that you can gain can be taken away. All that you can build up can turn to dust overnight. All that can be created can be destroyed. Only love remains. Only love. Not a feeling, not a thought, not a belief, not a state, not an experience, not something that you have, not something that you're in or out of, not something that you get from others, despite the romantic myths we're sold, but the endless embrace of all of this. Love is you. You before you were named, before you were even born, before the universe came into form. You are the one you have always sought. The unsilenceable call of the heart, the cry from deep within, the fragile stillness in the middle of the night. You will never abandon yourself again. The realm of source is within. We go through the inner temple. And as we go through that temple, we find our oneness with each other, with all life. Namaste.